What is going on, my Super Sandwiches? Rhymestyle here, and today I bring you the most smallest and simplest titled video I've ever done in my entire life. Now, before I start, it's kind of a joke, so if you guys follow Geekdom or subscribe to them, and actually Expert Games too, they've always had like the really short titles, and it became kind of a joke, like who can make like the most simplest titled video. And I think Geekdom was winning recently because he had like the videos that were titled just like Gohan. Well, today, this video style is just G. It's about Gohan. And also, I'm not by myself. I'm joined by Kwame here, who actually we haven't heard your voice in a while. Where have you been? Where have you been?
Yeah, I mean, you know, for those who like kind of read like my long or saw like my long podcast, or I explained all the details there. But yeah, man, I've gotten back on YouTube. I feel a lot better, so I'm ready to rock and roll.
Good. And then that's why I had to have you for this specific discussion. Now, obviously, this is to talk about Gohan. Before we start, there's a couple of spoilers I want to toss out there. Well, not spoilers, but kind of give you a preview what the video is going to be about. So, as you guys know, the Universe Survival arc is underway. It started in episode 77, and they're already up to fight it. We got Basil and Boo, who are going to fight this weekend. They started briefly fighting last weekend. And the weekend after that, episode 80, is kind of what inspired this video. It's about Gohan. Now, the description I'm about to read doesn't really spoil, I guess, everything that happens in the episode, but it kind of teases at what to expect. So if you don't want that spoiled, then leave right now, for the love of God. Without further ado, I'm going to start reading it. So as always, big shout out to Hearns for the translations. He is our translator. I will link his Twitter, and description below, so make sure you follow him, show him some love. He translated this the other day that was released from, I believe, one of the preview magazine things that always get released every couple weeks for episode 80. February 26th, awaken the dormant fighting spirit, Son Gohan's battle. The second round of the omnipresent match, facing off against Universe 9's Lavenda, Gohan is sprayed in the face with poison mist and loses his eyesight. Unable to even sense his opponent's ki, Gohan is one-sidedly beaten around, but ... Now this is the part I was talking about, how they don't really tell you what happens, but they kind of give you a small glimpse as what to expect. Now, obviously one of the biggest characters that we're all going to be looking forward to in this upcoming arc is Gohan. I mean, you got Master Roshi, who we want to see for obvious reasons, like what is Roshi going to do, how is he going to react? We got Android 17, who we haven't seen in a long time. And yes, he is alive. I've had a lot of people tweet me over the course of the last couple weeks, like, how is 17 back? He's dead. No, he's not dead. He's actually alive. He's a park ranger. He's married. He has a family. And he's come back for this tournament. And he's going to be a fun one to see as well, just because, like, let's see what he's been up to. But really, the big one that we want to see is Gohan. Us Gohan fans have been hurting since the end of Cell. You know, we watched this kid grow up. He was doing badass stuff, fighting all the Saiyans. He was keeping up with Frieza. He destroyed Cell, and then he became older, and then it was like, oh, what happened? And it got worse and worse. I mean, he had that one badass moment where he was, you know, when he fought Super Buu, which was one of my favorite Gohan moments of all time, next to Cell. But after that, it was kind of like, oh, what happened, man? And then it got worse and worse in Dragon Ball Super. So it's kind of a joke. It's a meme. Gohan is a meme in the series. But honestly, as a Gohan fan, I still believe. I know he wants to become a scholar. He's not a fighter. He's more of a family man. But honestly, I think this arc is number one. I feel like we'll see some fan service side of Gohan. You know, we're probably going to see him actually do some crazy stuff. And two, just as a believer, I think he's going to do something because he still has it on the inside. They've been hinting at it for the last, like, couple of arcs now. Every time you see Gohan pop up, you see him train with Piccolo. A lot of you guys might not think that actually means a lot. But honestly, I'm telling you, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Kwame, do you think it's going to happen?
Well, the thing is, Dino, Gohan used to be, like, you know, one of my favorite characters in the show, and I think that they wouldn't have put all of the food on the table if they weren't going to eat it. And that's, the analogy that I use, because the whole scene that we saw with, you know, Baby Pan and Videl, like, you know, hanging out, and, like, you see Gohan look back and he's like, I'm actually fighting for something. I feel like that really shows something, Dino, because one thing that, you know, you could say about, you know, your personal life and and this applies to, like, most men out there. If men are motivated about, you know, their loved ones and their family, they'll go out there and they'll fight. And I think that's why I think that he's definitely going to have something major to do. I think if he possibly loses this fight, or if he kind of turns the fight around, it'll be somewhat due to his hidden potential, and it'll actually motivate him even more for the upcoming big tournament.
What I was gonna say is honestly, I don't think we'll see Gohan's action really kick in until later. What I feel like is gonna happen is so he had the shocker. The shocker was when Frieza showed up and tortured him, and basically was a big threat to Pan and Videl. Pan and Videl, because she was just born. that was like the big shocker for him. Then it continued to happen more and more as we got more stuff happening. We started the universe, not the universe survival arc, but the universe 6 tournament, and then we had the whole Trunk stuff that he had no clue was even happening. And I feel like we had a bunch of chakras in the past, but now what's going to happen is he's actually back in action, and this is his chance to do something. Now, honestly, I feel like because of how these tournaments are usually set up, I feel like he's honestly going to lose against Lavenda in this fight. If you want to speculate your own thoughts, feel free to do so down below. But the reason why I feel like it's going to happen is from what we've seen, every single one of these fights have been like very much one-sided, where it's like one person wins, one person loses, and then there's a tiebreaker. With this being a 3v3, it's kind of obvious that Basil is going to lose to Boo, because from what it makes it sound like in the episode previews, which I'm not going to read because there's no point reading it, but how they made it sound like is Boo is too indestructible to get hurt by Basil's kicks. And because of that, for whatever way he does it, Boo, I feel like is going to be the winner. So that gives 1 win for Universe 7. Now, if Universe 7 wins again, then it's 2v1, and then that last fight doesn't even really matter, right? Unless it's, it wouldn't really matter. So I feel like what's going to happen is even though he might have his hidden power kick in from the title, based on, the episode title is called Awaken the Dormant Fighting Spirit, I feel like even though the title seems to be much on Gohan's side, due to how, just anime rules are, I feel like he's going to lose this fight. However, that's not to say that Gohan is going to be trashed later. I feel like if anything, this to be more of a awakening, a bubble burst. Let's call it that. It's going to burst his bubble, and it'll give him more of a reason to realize what's happening. He obviously knows that if they lose, then Universe 7 is going to get destroyed. So I feel like if he does lose this fight, if that's how it happens, he's going to be more prepared and ready for the upcoming tournament. Now, to be fair, it sounds like Lavenda's going to cheat. Lavenda's going to bust out a Frost move and poison him, blind him, or whatever, Poison Mist, that says. And technically, it's not a fair way to go out. But at the same time, whatever happens, happens. I mean, we saw Universe 6. Every character in Universe 6 was damn near not the same strength as Universe 7. However, they all fought in their own unique way, which allowed them to potentially come close to winning. But Tamo basically couldn't get hurt. Freaking hit, froze time. Frost literally cheated. And what's to say that that's not going to happen again? Because all the Omni Kings want to see is a fight. And whatever way it happens, whether it's dirty or clean, it's still a fight. So because of that, I feel like, honestly, Gohan's going to go out and lose this round. But because of how he loses, it's going to have him more prepared for the actual tournament. Because remember, this is just a preliminary, it's just a test. And honestly, again, I want to toss this out there again as a speculation. I feel like when Universe 9 loses, which I feel like they'll have to lose, I think that they're gonna get destroyed. And when they get destroyed, then it's like, okay, look, we mean business. If you lose this tournament, we're gonna blow up your universe, and everyone's gonna be more serious about fighting in the real thing. What do you think about that? I know there's a lot of stuff I just threw at you all at once, but I've been waiting to do this video all day, and I'm really, really excited about it. So, what do you think about all that?
Well, to answer your most recent thing, though, Dino, I think that with the stakes on the line, especially, I think that's going to be the biggest key motivator in everything. Because if you know that not only are you going to die, or pretty much everybody in your universe, but everybody who's unaffected by you is going to lose their life because you couldn't win this tournament, I think that's going to really, light a fire on everybody else. And obviously, Dino, I don't know the future, but I strongly predict that it's not going to end up with everybody else dying, because I think that's too dark of a storyline, and I think Goku would have too much blame on his shoulders if that actually happened. But I definitely do feel like with all of the characters around, Gohan's biggest motivation will come at a point where he's at the highest point of stakes. And I think, Dino, to give like a good historical explanation for this, is if you go back and you look at, when Gohan was fighting against Cell, and Cell was pretty much squeezing the hell out of him, and Piccolo was saying, Goku, you gotta jump in, Gohan's not gonna get out of that situation. Goku's like, no worries, he's gonna be all fine. Until the Cell Juniors were at the verge of killing everyone and 16 talked to him, that's when Gohan's true hidden power came out. And then, if you look at the Buu Saga, when they actually brought all of his latent energy out again, it kind of tells me that if Gohan trains and gets his body back in shape, he can get back to that form.
Exactly. And it's gotta happen. It's gotta happen. Now, I will say this. I don't think it's gonna go blue. I don't think he's going to do anything spectacular as far as forms. I mean, we might see something fancy like a hybrid version of his potential Unleashed with some kind of Super Saiyan added to it. Even though that would be kind of weird, just due to the fact that, Elder Kai said that you don't have to do it. Basically, your base form is your Super Saiyan form in a way. But I feel like we'll see something. We might see some kind of mix of that. I don't think we'll see blue. Blue is going to be always unique to both Goku and Vegeta. I mean, we might see Blue for other characters in, like, the games. But as far as the story, I feel like what Toriyama and Toei are going to do is just focus on having everybody have their own thing that makes them unique. Goku and Vegeta are blue. Trunks had his Super Saiyan Rage, which is still kind of confusing and weird, but hey, whatever, it works out. And, Gotenks is Super Saiyan 3. Like, everybody has their thing that makes them unique. And Gohan was the one who didn't even have to go Super Saiyan. So if we do see some kind of new form or crazy ability for him, I feel like it'd be some kind of hybrid of the potential Unleashed, mix it with Super Saiyan. Maybe it'd be like a potential Unleashed, but like glowing, gold or something like that. I don't really know. But as far as Blue, I don't think it's very, very likely. Do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, I mean, if they were to do it, they would just make Gohan too much in the same boat as Goku and Vegeta. I think that's why Goku and Vegeta are verified. And I do think that if he does have a new form, it would be something more similar to Trunks, where it's like his own technique.
Right, exactly. So with that said, that's basically the kind of the spoiler for episode 80, and then kind of our speculation and thoughts on what we'll see in the future of the arc. Again, if we are right, and Gohan does get beaten into the ground in this upcoming episode in 2 weeks, not this weekend, but the weekend after that, hang in there. I'm telling you. I'm calling it. It's gotta be. He's going to have it come back at some point in the actual tournament. And if anything, this beating that he's about to receive, whether he wins or loses, is going to be a awakening that will basically show him, that he has to get serious about it. So with that said, let us know your thoughts, what you guys expect to see with Gohan in the future of the series and the arc. Comment down below whether you think he'll achieve any transformations of his own or something, something similar close to Goku as far as Blue, which I don't think is going to happen, but whatever. Let me know your thoughts down below. But overall, if you believe that Gohan's going to come back and you're hyped for this upcoming arc, then let us know your thoughts. Leave a comment, leave a like. Let's go for 9,001 as always. And I guess all we can do at this point is just wait and see what happens. So with that said, we hope you enjoy the rest of your day. This has been Kwame and Rhymestyle, which, wow, I haven't said that in a long time, but it feels good. There's going to be more. There's going to be many more. We hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you guys in the comment section below.